Good morning, everyone. My name is Marcy. I am from Muskingum University and I'm a member of the Ohio Association for College Admission Counseling. Just wanted to thank you for being here this morning for the virtual college exploration. Your camera and microphone are off this morning, so feel free to use the Q&A buttons when you do have a question. Sign up for more sessions with us at www.oacac.org. Recordings of this will be available also on the same website, so feel free to jump back on. I am going to turn it over to Robert at this point and have a great session.
Hello, everybody. I'd like to welcome you for taking this time out today to join us, whether you're joining us live or catching a later recording due to your busy schedules. You're still making time to look into your college future and some of the different opportunities you have at different universities. So I thank you for joining us today for Chatham. I am going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Okay. Right here, you see a great aerial view of our campus. Some have referred to it as the Narnia of Pittsburgh because it's one of the locations that is very greeny. It is very, the architecture is very, very, very modern. As far as our mansions, they've been remodeled. We have mansion campuses, which we will get into, and a lot of the buildings are being used into more of a today's time. However, a lot of them have kept some of the past history, like our art building still has the old gymnasium floor in the middle of it. So if you're standing over top looking down on the class, you could see the half court still in the middle of the floor. So that's something like we like to share with individuals. Here we have some of the different lists that we've been voted to as far as us and our location, top 15 best college towns in America by Best College Reviews. America's most livable cities is something that Forbes voted Pittsburgh for. So a lot of individuals, whether local or coming from out of state or even international, once they come and they attend Chatham, they find themselves staying once they're done to live and start their career and their professions here in Pittsburgh because of, how livable it is. And then number 3, safest major cities in the U.S. by Farmers Insurance, which we all know Farmers Insurance is a pretty big group that compile this list every 3 years, and they come up with the safest major cities in the U.S. and Pittsburgh was voted number 3. And then with all the sports around, top 10 best cities to be a sports fan, that's from Bleacher Report, which is one of those new up and coming sites. I think they have a website as well, but I think they're definitely on like the social medias, like the Instagram and Twitters and things like that, to where they're very credible with the different things that they post and that they report as well. Right now, the number is actually around 2,300 plus students here on Chatham's campus enrolled through Chatham, with about 1,100 to 1,200 of those students being undergrad. So the undergrad population is very high, makes up half to a little bit more than half of our student population. So you would be adding to that, making the numbers go up, hopefully. Our average high school GPA is around 3.7. Added together, all the students coming in, that's not actually our required, is what I was looking for. It's not our required GPA. However, our average is from the coursework that you guys as students put together. I see more and more every day that students are starting to challenge themselves with honors classes and advanced placement classes and dual enrollment and different things like that. So actually, the reason why this number is so high and that we can, actually present it and kind of boast about it a little bit is because of the work that our incoming undergraduates are putting together during their 4 years in high school, which is a great thing. There you see some of our schools that we have: School of Health and Science. We have the Schools of Arts, Science, and Business, and then the Folk School of Sustainability. We have 3 different locations. We have the Shadyside location where I'm located out. We have the East Side location, which is probably about 5 to 6 minutes away from the Shadyside, straight shot. We have a bus that will connect you to both campuses. And then we have our Folk School of Sustainability, which is in Gibsonia, PA, probably about 35 minutes from here. The world's first sustainability college that was built from ground up. 40 plus majors is what we have right now with a faculty to student ratio student to faculty actually of 10 to 1. So things are really personalized here at Chatham. That's something that we constantly say to ourselves, whether it's through the admission process or once you're actually on campus and you're working through your education, we try to make things personalized to where you get to know the professors, you get to know the staff, you get to know each other as classmates, as peers. You guys really have time to interact. If you have 10, 11, 12 students in your class, there's a lot of time to really hone in on working with each other instead of, needing to go get tutors. You actually can meet and know who's in your classes. And as you go on, there's been individuals who will kind of line things up to where it's like, okay, we took this class together. Let's keep moving on down this path so we can kind of be like a buddy system to get through this 4-year, 5-year degree, depending on what your study is. And then 86, I think it's a little higher now, but 86 of our faculty have a PhD or the top tier degree in what they are teaching. So therefore, you're not just getting this information secondhand or regurgitated to you out of a book. These are individuals who really have took the time and made it a life passion to learn what they are teaching back to the students so that they can make sure they're helping them at the highest percentage that they can. Accelerate and save. Usually when I give this, a lot of people are like, what is that? Basically, it's exactly what it sounds like. We have integrated degree programs, which is something that you can apply for when you do your Chatham application. Our application is directly online. We'll get into that, and we have 2 other ways that you can do it. But with the accelerated degree, and as you see, we have a new one in 2019, we added Master's in Athletic Training. So with that accelerated or that integrated degree program, you apply for it. Say I'm looking into bio and I want to be a master of biochemistry. Apply for my undergrad. I also indicate that I'm interested in an integrated degree program. At that point in time, they will give you either guaranteed admission or preferred admission. With both of those, you have to maintain a certain GPA based off the criteria that's handed down to you and complete certain courses and prerequisites. Going into your senior year, you'll be eligible for graduation. So at the end of your completion of your junior year, you'll be eligible for graduation, to where your senior year, you will be starting your master's program. So you're accelerated because you're getting done within 3 years with your undergrad, and then you're starting your graduate and master's courses on your 4th year. The way you save is with financial aid and the FAFSA and different things like that. The different aids that you have about 120 credits towards undergraduate. So completing within your junior year, you're usually around 108, 110. So that still leaves you roughly 12 to 10 credits that you can take a master's at that undergraduate level. So that's kind of saving you money there, but getting started a little bit early. 96.8 of our students are either enrolled in graduate school or employed 6 months after graduation. We have not done any studies to find, but I know, just talking with students myself, that other 3.2% usually just take time to themselves. I don't think that they're not applying themselves to look for work or sure if they want to go to graduate school. I just think, as we all know, school can be a bit much. You've been going since, preschool, kindergarten, all the way up through, your senior year in college. So therefore, a lot of students will take time to themselves. They will travel, mission trips, different things like that, work at family businesses where, they really don't consider that employee because they're just helping out and things like that. Just things to really hone in and find out who they are before they get back out there in the workforce or even continue with their schooling. So that's pretty high percentage for us. I spoke a little bit about the dormitories earlier, 5+3, because we have 5 total dorms, but we have 3 mansion style dorms. And the mansions, you never know what you're going to get when you're selected, once you're through that process of where you're selected and asking what type of room you will get. However, each room in there is different. That's kind of more so what I was trying to say. The rooms are different because we renovated, but a lot of things were left. So one room, it might be a double with you and a roommate, and you might have a fireplace, which of course, unfortunately, we don't leave operable. But at the same time, another one might have a walk-in closet and different things like that. So they tried to keep the mansions in their rooms as original as possible while still making them livable in dorm style. And then we also have 2 traditional dorm styles for students on campus. The way our dormitory work is there's a 2-year on-campus residency. The students must abide by right now with COVID and things like that, and just trying to be, understanding of everyone's needs and what works best for students. They did lift that for the 2019-2020 school year, and we'll have more information on how 2020 and 2021 is going to go pretty here soon in the future. Studying abroad is something that I'm starting to notice a lot more students are definitely wanting to get into. And here at Chatham, every student is eligible for $1,200 study abroad voucher. A lot of students will study during the summer. Some might study just the fall semester. Some might study just the winter semester or even spring. And then there's students that have even studied the entire year. So their sophomore or junior year, they won't even be on Chatham's campus. They'll study and take the entire year of courses wherever they're studying abroad. And that all comes into play with what you're studying, where you would like to go study, and how your coursework lines up. So if everything could fall into line, a study abroad is definitely something that a lot of students, and I believe at least 40+% of our students will study abroad while during their undergraduate here at Chatham. Our application process, I spoke to it real briefly, is definitely, it's online. Go to our website. It's one of the first things you see is apply. Very easy. It allows you to set up a profile to where you can log back in and check on it or add things if you need to. You can get updates if we ever need to send you something. We'll email you, text you once we have your information if you're okay with that. But they'll also send you emails and updates or things that are changing with your application or the process that you're in and different things like that. We also are working with the Coalition and the Common App. Both of those are also free. I don't know if I mentioned it, but Chatham's application is free as well. And once you do those things, the information goes in, it comes to us, and then you'll get an email back asking you to sign up and create or complete your Chatham's profile so that you're able to have the same access that individuals who filled out the Chatham application directly are able to have. Right now, the biggest thing I'm going to skip down because it's very major to let individuals know we are test optional this year. That's for the 2020 fall and 2021 spring. We are test optional. Individuals applying for those times. So if you have a test, ACT, SAT, and you feel comfortable in it, please feel free to send it. If you weren't able to take the test, because we know they are constantly being rescheduled, it's hard to schedule it. And then once you get one scheduled, there's no guarantee that you're actually going to continue to have that date all outside of you guys' control. So our VP and our team here, they understood that. So they went test optional to where you have the option to turn it in, but it's not a requirement. Basically this year, in order to get an admission decision, we need an official high school transcript and a college or college transcript, and we need a completed application. Those two things will get you on to the process where you can be reviewed and then considered for admission at that point in time. Essays and letter of recommendations are both optional. However, we strongly suggest them since we're going off your GPA, your application. We want to get to know you. Again, here's that word, personalized. We want to, try to personalize this thing as much as possible and really know who you are. So a personal statement, there's essay topics on all applications, or even a writing sample that you might have turned in throughout your high school or even middle school that you feel comfortable in and that you just want someone to read. I think this is something that I want someone to read, in order to know who I am or know my writing skills or just see where my thought process is. I'm going to submit this. So those are things that, again, they're optional, but we strongly just recommend and suggest that you turn them in just so we can kind of get to know you. And I mean, you're going to speak the best about yourself on your application. So to have a coach or a counselor or a teacher or even an employer, a supervisor, echo the things that you're saying on your application would really, let us know that you feel strongly about yourself and individuals are seeing how strong you feel and the work that you're putting in to be the person that you're going to be inside of school and outside of school. Here we talk about just our mission, sustainability and the environment, engagement and responsibility, and then there's global and international. A lot of those things you will see intertwined here. This is actually the art room. I wish I could move the writing out the way a little bit so you guys can see, but this is the art building where I was talking about with the half court in the middle of the floor. And as you see, it's very artsy, very up to date. But however, they just decided to leave that floor there and not only leave the floor, but also leave the logo. So it just keeps some of the historical Chatham times there. Before we were Chatham University, we were Chatham College, and there was two other names in between there. Little history, little fun fact to see how you guys can find the names because they're on campus all over the place. They're on the back of one of our buildings. So I'm going to leave that little tidbit out of there to see if I can get you guys to come on the campus to do a visit so you can see it in person. Along with our study abroad, we have a global focus each year. It includes events, lectures, travel, different things like trying different foods from those areas. Here is the focus for this year, along with 2021 and 22. 2022 and 23 will be Thailand and then Costa Rica. So if you're not able to study abroad and you want to still learn about different countries, we always have something on campus going on for the year to where you can learn about them. If you are able to study abroad and you're here for your 4 years, you technically will be able to, study 3 different countries with your study abroad, and then the other 3 years we'll have the global focus. So you'll really have a lot of time to broaden your knowledge and understanding about different cultures and different countries. I think it's a cool thing to have. Right now, the number stands about 60 plus organizations that we have. So a lot of interest. Chatham Cold Case. There's the Quidditch Club, which I'm learning more and more about. It's something from Harry Potter. I'm a little bit familiar with it. Didn't quite know that it was big, but when I mention that to students when they come on visit, they kind of like eyes get big and they're like, really? Like that might be a reason I come here. So there's a lot of different clubs that's here, but one thing we always looking for and the opportunity is there to always add your own clubs and organizations as well. So coming in as a freshman, if there's something at your high school that you guys have as a club and you feel like Chatham doesn't quite have that, or it's right there, but they need to add some things to it, the opportunity is there to work with staff and faculty in order to add that club. So hopefully by the time you guys get here and are on campus, we can have that number, when I'm doing this presentation, be at 75 to 80 plus organizations, because you guys are coming in and adding more things to Chatham University. Right now, actually, this is 19 NCAA division athletics, with soccer being added last year, Division 3. So everyone is eligible for a tryout if you're interested. If there's a coach you want to talk to, feel free to email. I'll make sure I get my email and information out there. I'll actually put it in the Q&A when I stop sharing the screen, so that you guys can reach out with any questions you might have directly, since I will be covering the Ohio area, to get you connected with any coaches or any application that you want to fill out for prospects and things like that. Here's usually where we go over our Q&A portion for our side: diversity and inclusion, school type, residence life, location. We preach high on the location because not only the campus, but there's a lot of things around us. So you have the opportunity to explore outside with your student ID. You will always be able to use our public transport, which will get you around to a lot of places that you need to get, from Targets to grocery shops to Trader Joe's, Whole Foods. We have an area location called Oakland. That's where the University of Pittsburgh is. There's a lot of food spots there. So there's a lot of things around us. So you can be able to take your classes, adventure out, and then come back on campus to kind of have that home feel. I was gone, I was doing things, and now I'm coming back home and getting away from the busy movement. So these are some of the questions. If you're watching this now, or if you're watching this recorded, look over some of these things. Maybe they might spark some things in you that you were like, oh, that wasn't mentioned, or that's what I asked the last school, or that's something that, me and my family want to know. Use this as a guideline. Feel free to reach out, ask any of these questions that you have. We will be more than welcome to, or more than happy to actually answer questions for you at any point in time. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and use the Q&A real quick. There's nothing I need. Okay, so what I'll do is I will connect and make sure that my information gets out to you guys, so that when you're watching this, you won't only be watching the broadcast, but you'll also be able to know who you were talking to. My name was up during the entire presentation. So now, one little trick that I've learned to help myself and you guys is I'm going to change my name so that you can see it as an email. So if you're watching this recorded, towards the end of it, you will see that I changed it to my email, which is r.joyce@chatham.edu. So you'll be able to email me and reach out any way you need to. I'd like to thank you for coming out today, or even watching when you have the free time. Again, any question you guys have, we are always here, and I look forward to speaking with you and hopefully getting you on campus here at Chatham.
And I would like to thank you for joining us for this presentation. Thank you, Robert, for your presentation. Don't forget, there is a quick survey after you watch. You're welcome to sign up for more sessions at www.oacac.org. And again, recordings of these will be available at that website too. So thank you again and have a great day. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
It's very good to meet you. I hope you have a good rest of your day.
You too. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay. Hopefully I'll get to see you on the road someday.
Hopefully someday soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right.